Welcome back to the Napa Valley Tournament Expert Division weekend round. Hole number 6. Here we're going to be setting up for a grizzly rough bump. We're using a P3 side spin 4 plus wind 4 plus ball. You need 4 side spin for this approach. The adjustment for the drive is P3 plus 10% max. We're using a rock 8 plus for the drive and grizzly 7 plus for the approach. So starting with your rock 8, we're going to set the red ring touching the rough on the left. If you have rock 9, you'll be at the top of the plus 15. If you have the rock 8, you'll be at P3 max rest or at the top of the plus 16. No curl, no OP. Pull this one as straight as you can. There are some different wind angles here, right? So if you catch a hard crosswind and you pull too much 59, you're going to end up really close to the rough on the left. Or vice versa. If you catch the tailwind angle and you pull too much 01, you'll end up much further from the rough on the left. And this is about where we want to be, 340 yards and about 4 or so rings from the rough on the left. For the approach shot, we're playing P3 plus 10% at slider. We're using 4 left spin only. No curl, no OP, and we're pulling it. For me, I'm having to pull this one as straight as possible. All right. Not trying to favor any side over the other. I'm just trying to get it lined up as straight as I can. We're going to be setting up in plus yards here. The caveat to that is you're going to be playing P3 plus 10% at 81 slider. And what we're going to do is plus or minus from the adjustment that we get, depending on the plus yards that we're set up at. Right? So if you're set up at the plus 1, you don't have to add or subtract anything. It's P3 plus 10 at 81 slider. If you're set up at the plus 2, you add 0.1 to the adjustment. If you're set up at the plus 3, add 0.2. If you're set up at the plus 4, add 0.3. Right? If you're set up at the 0, minus 0.1. If you're set up 1 ring short of the plus 1, then you'll minus 0.2, and so on, right? It's either add or subtract 0.1 for every plus yard above or below the plus 1. What we're going to do is add our spin, 4 left spin, and then we're going to set the tip of the ball guide to be 1.25 or so squares or lines past the hole. It's not quite halfway, not quite 1.5, but no less than 1.25, right? So if this is center, then this would be center of that. You want it somewhere in that range, right? The second quarter of the square, between 0.25 and 0.5 in. And make sure that you have the ball guide splitting the right edge of the cup. It's really important that you get the tip of the ball guide through the hole the proper amount. That's why this is important for us, because that changes the speed that the shot comes in. And if you have it too short, it's not going to catch the groove correctly. And if you have it too long, you're going to miss the groove to the right, right? So focus on the tip of the ball guide, making sure it's the proper distance through the hole, and making sure that you're splitting the right edge of the cup. Sometimes your yellow ring is going to be touching the fairway here. Sometimes your yellow ring will be over here. Sometimes your yellow ring will be over here. That doesn't matter. Tip of the ball guide, splitting the cup, that's what matters. And the only other thing that I've noticed as far as wind angle tweaks go on this one is there's a headwind angle, which I have here. And what I'm doing in the headwind angle is I'm adding 2 clicks of OP because I'm getting a little bit more compression from the wind angle. And if you don't add a couple clicks of OP, you're most likely going to miss it just to the left. So what I'm considering for my headwind angle is I'm looking at this bush and I'm splitting that front section, whatever you call that, right there. Looks like there's 3 pieces that come together here, whatever this is, right through there, right? Or if you prefer, you can see, I don't know if you can see it, but there's this leaf that comes straight down, right? That it'd be your line, okay? Anything to the right of that, add 2 clicks of OP. Anything to the left of it needs no tweaks. At least none that I've seen so far. Like I said, besides that, all I'm doing is trying to pull this as straight as possible. No OP, no curl, unless you're in the headwind angle. Then you'll add a couple clicks OP. And hopefully, you're walking away from this one with the eagle. Now, I did come in a little bit on the right side there. I think that I had too much 59 on that pull, and that's what brought me in the right side. But one thing to note about that approach shot is great lefts are dangerous, and you will most likely fly the green. Uh, Great rights can also be dangerous. It depends on which wind angle you get. But generally speaking, if they're minor greats, it won't be bad. And I've actually dropped a minor great right here. But if it's a bad great right, you might get stuck in the bunker. If it's a great left, there's a good chance that you're going to end up in the rough behind the green. With that being said, this has been the most consistent shot that we found on this hole. And trust me, I tried all kinds of shots. This one has worked the best for us, gives us the best results. So practice it a couple times, get familiar with the setup. I recommend, while you're waiting on your shot, you set that slider to 81%. So you're ready to go when your shot comes up. And other than that, it's pretty easy, pretty good chance. I'm going to show you the drop with the Win 5 ball as well. But that's it as far as the information goes. This is just giving you a different perspective with a Win 5 ball. A little bit different wind angle. I think this one is a little bit more headwind. That ball guide splitting about 1.25 squares through the hole. The yellow ring on this one is touching. Yeah, see, I'm just right of the bushes for this one. and we get the pull correct on this one, so we get it coming in center of the cup. Good luck, everyone. Hope you get the drop, and we'll catch you on the next one.